The network is dead. The stores have turned to ash. Your neighbors are eating the sofa. All the survival guides you've ever read were written by people who thought collapse was missing an order at Starbucks. Welcome to the true end where water kills. Fire attracts murderers. Kindness can lead to being robbed, mutilated, or worse, being used as bait. Do you want to survive? Forget about scout guides. Forget about YouTubers posing with $5,000 backpacks in their garages. This is not a theory. This is what happens when the light goes out forever. Here are 11 rules that no one talks about. Those that will help you breathe when everything else stops. These rules are based on the experiences of trauma surgeons, field medics, and those who truly endured the collapse of 2020 in the dark corridors from Maine to Montana. Let's begin. Rule number 1. Trust no one, especially groups. Do you see the smoke on the horizon? Maybe the bonfire? Do you hear the laughter? Your brain lights up like a New Year's tree. Community, safety, help, it's all a lie. Groups in collapse aren't clubs sharing survival tips over herbal tea. They are pyramids, and you are not the leader. You aren't even second in command. You are a pawn, new flesh, the one sent to check if the water is poisoned or the building is mined. They will call you brother. They will heal your wounds. They will say, "We care for each other." And then they will hand you the shortest spear and point towards the dark forest. A Stanford University study in 2025 tracked group behavior during prolonged power outages, such as weekly blackouts in Texas and supply chain disruptions in Michigan. The result? Hierarchy forms in less than 72 hours. Loyalty evaporates by the 4th day. The newcomers become labor, bait, or items for exchange, depending on what runs out first. Here is your trial. Remember this. If you are offered food before they know what you have, you are not a guest. You are being fattened up. But if they ask what you are carrying before offering you a can of beans, you have a chance to survive the night. Science says that people are social beings. The collapse shows that people are predators disguised as humans. Act accordingly. Rule 2. Water kills more than thirst. You find a crystal clear brook, gurgling as if it begs to be in a nature documentary. You fall to your knees, drinking as if it were salvation. 3 days later, you lie in a ditch, unable to lift your head, too dehydrated to scream. Giardia, cholera, E. coli. Choose to your liking. The lottery of nature, and you just won sepsis. Here is the bitter truth that no one includes in their preparation list. Thirst won't kill you quickly, but dirty water will. According to the CDC report on mortality and disasters in 2025, 68% of all deaths in the U.S. after the collapse and floods in Puerto Rico in 2024 were not due to violence, starvation, or hypothermia. People died from drinking what looked clean. Boil water every time. No pot. Use a dented tin can. No fire. Build a solar distillation. Dig a pit. Place a glass in the center. Cover it with plastic and weigh it down with a stone. Condensation drips slowly, boringly, yet vividly. Or find a fast current of water. Pass it through cloth, then through sand, and then crush the charcoal from the last fire. Layer it, like a paranoid person stacking a multi-tiered cake, and still bring it to a boil, because this clear mountain stream is located upstream from the bloated raccoon, the broken septic tank, or the mass grave you didn't notice, and your insides do not send invitations. They simply disappear. Clear water is not a consolation. This is the only currency that buys you tomorrow. Rule 3. Fire is a beacon for everything that wants to kill you. Fire warms, cooks food, dries clothes, makes you feel human again. That is why it can lead to your demise. You light a match in the ruins of a dead city. A small flame flickers in the dark. It seems safe. It seems reasonable. But 5 miles away, a scavenger with a thermal drone has already detected your heat signature for $200 on his phone. Yes, you read that right. Thermal imaging equipment is no longer just military. During the blackout in Texas in 2024, local gangs used modified DJI drones with thermal cameras to hunt warm bodies, confirmed by DHS reports. They did not knock. They did not negotiate. They came in the 3rd hour of your sleep, when the fire was dying down and your vigilance was at its lowest. The fire not only attracts attention, it screams your GPS coordinates in the infrared range. Every ember is a billboard. An easy target here. Alone, vulnerable. Так что же делать? Холодный лагерь. Есть сырое, спать, дрожа, прийти в себя. Выживание — это неуютно, но если уж нужно разжечь огонь, Делай это под землей. Буквально выкопай огонь в стиле Дакота. 2 котлована рядом, один для топлива, другой для подачи воздуха. Соедини их под землей. Зажги. The fire burns hotly, quickly and downward. A minimal flame, almost no smoke, nearly invisible at night. This is not a survival fantasy in the wild. It is tactical stealth, adapted for urban hell. You don't need a roaring campfire. You need 90 seconds of heat to boil water. That's all. And remember, a warm night may be your last night with a view. While you enjoy this flicker of comfort, someone is already planning how to turn your fire into your funeral. Fire is life, of course, but in the conditions of collapse, it is also a death warrant signed by smoke. Rule 4. Your body is your only real weapon. You look at the tactical knife, the AR-15 in the closet, the crossbow you bought because it doesn't require ammunition. Nice. Now imagine that he is eating in the rain, breaks upon falling, and is taken by someone twice his size, who decides that your gear looks better on him, preferably after you find yourself face down in the mud. Here is a cruel return to reality. Your body cannot be stolen, confiscated, or exhausted. It won't fail you. It doesn't rust. And if trained, it will never give up. Forget about fitness. It's not about abs or gym selfies. It's about raw, ugly, functional movement for survival. Can you run 50 yards from a standstill? Climb over a wire fence with a 20-pound backpack? Shake a dog off your leg? If not, you're already dead. You just haven't fallen yet. A study conducted by the U.S. Army's Human Performance Laboratory in 2025 confirmed that speed and reaction time surpass physical strength by 9 times in urban evasion scenarios. Muscle mass is impressive. Muscle memory is impressive. So train as if your life depends on it, because it does. Run until your lungs burn like glass. Climb to heights until your palms crack. Practice the 2-second rule. If you can't instantly sprint at full speed within 2 seconds of hearing a threat, you are prey. Not prey with a knife, just prey. And when it comes to hand combat, fight like a cornered animal, because you are one. Eyes, throat, groin, knees. Fight if you must. In a collapse, there are no rules, only consequences. Remember, in a lawless world, the only thing standing between you and a shallow grave is your willingness to do what civilized people cannot. Do you find violence ugly? Try being a victim. Your body is not an ornament. It is your first and last line of defense. Strengthen it. Temper it. Respect it. Because when the system collapses, the earth will not go to the strong. It will go to the swift, the ruthless, and the prepared. And if your body is not ready, it will not be yours for long. Rule 5. Noise is death. You walk through a dead city, broken glass, rusty cars, the wind howls through shattered windows, mourning the dead. You kick a tin can and it makes a faint sound. This sound just informed every desperate soul within a 200-meter radius. Here I am, lonely, distracted, vulnerable. In the collapse, silence is not golden. It is the only thing that keeps you alive. Human auditory perception sharpens when food becomes scarce. Scavengers sharpen their hunting ears. And this applies not only to humans. Stray dogs, coyotes, even rats move towards weakness, and the noise is the cry of weakness. Do you think a whisper is safe? You're mistaken. The sound travels through concrete, down alleys, across rooftops. A cough, the sound of lightning, the rustle of snack packaging. Each of these sounds is a bell tolling in the darkness. So move like a ghost from heel to toe. Control your breathing, keep your hands free, don't flap them at your sides. No humming to calm your nerves, no talking to yourself. No, just one quick call on this dead phone. If you hear movement, freeze. Don't look back, don't call out, just freeze. Let them pass, let them doubt their feelings. Survival favors the unnoticed, not the brave. And if something hears you, do not scream, do not run. Act silently. A stone in the temples, a knife at the throat, a blow to the ribs. Everything is quiet, everything is final, except for the scream. This is a lighthouse, a transmission, an invitation for the entire area. A study conducted by the MIT Urban Acoustics Laboratory in 2024 confirmed that in post-collapse silence, background noise drops to 18 decibels, quieter than in a library. In this emptiness, a fallen metal flask can be located 3 meters away from more than 150 yards. So ask yourself, was this noise worth your life? Because in the end, collapse does not reward the loud. It quietly buries them. Rule 6. Knowledge is more important than things. You find a bunker for the prepared. Shelves lined with rations, containers of ammunition, solar chargers, and toilet paper, as if they were gold. Is it luck? No. In 6 months, this store will be empty. Batteries will run out, fuel will finish, and you will find yourself in a concrete grave with empty boxes and growing horror from having traded your survival for someone else's expiration date. Supplies will eventually run out, but knowledge will remain. While others stockpile beans, you stockpile skills. How to catch a rabbit with paracord and a bent nail. How to identify goosefoot, plantain, and bulrush. Free calories grow in every crack on the sidewalk. How to start a fire with a battery and steel wool. How to stitch a wound with boiled thread and antiseptic honey. In the year 2025, a study of urban survivors after power outages in Detroit and Phoenix revealed a frightening pattern. Those who relied solely on stored food lasted an average of 22 days. For those skilled in foraging wild plants, purifying water, and basic medical care, this period exceeded 110 days and continues to grow. Therefore, follow the rule of 1. Learn one new survival skill each week before the collapse occurs, because every mistake can cost you blood, calories, or time that cannot be regained. A can of beans will feed you once. The skill to grow beans or catch the squirrel that ate your beans will feed you forever. And if this squirrel is sick, you know how to cook it at 165 degrees for 10 minutes to kill the parasites, because you learned this. Never pass on these skills lightly. Knowledge is power. And in times of collapse, power is life. Share them only when someone proves they will guard them like the last bullet. Remember them. Practice in the backyard. Try blindly, because when the light goes out and the shelves are empty, the only thing standing between you and hunger is what you have in your head. Things can be looted. Knowledge stays with you until your last breath. Make sure it is worth something. Rule 7. Pain is information, not punishment. You twisted your ankle stumbling over debris, it swells, burns, you grit your teeth, mumble, "I'm fine." And you keep walking. Bad decision. In 2 days, you won't be able to get up. The temperature is rising, your leg is becoming hot and red, like a roadmap to sepsis. Now you are not just injured, you are bait. This is a truth that no survival guide wants to acknowledge. In the conditions of an infection collapse, more people die than from bullets. According to data from the year 2025 from the Medical Disaster Unit of Johns Hopkins, 73% of unintended deaths in prolonged power outage scenarios occur due to untreated wounds, cuts, blisters, and dislocations that lead to systemic failure. Pain is not weakness. It is your body's emergency alert system. Ignoring it is not resilience, but a delayed suicide. So, when pain arises, stop, assess, act. Stabilize the ankle with sticks and duct tape. Lift it. Squeeze it, cool it with running water or snow. Immediately clean each scratch with boiled water or antiseptic honey. Yes, honey, not folk science. Science. Raw, unpasteurized honey has proven antimicrobial properties. Used by military and medical professionals in the wild for centuries, now confirmed by research from the National Institutes of Health in 2024. Apply to the wound, cover it, and you will ensure 72 critical hours without infection. Garlic. Crush it. Allison fights against bacteria. Willow. Chew on a strip. This is natural aspirin confirmed by ethnobotanical studies, but prevention is always more important than treatment. Check your body every day. Look for 3 red flags: red stripes, localized heat, unpleasant smell. If you notice even one, it means the infection is spreading. If all 3 are present, you have 48 hours to stop it, or you will become a warning to others. Strength is not in walking on a broken leg. Strength is the ability to rest, recover, and adapt, so you can stand up again tomorrow. After all, collapse does not care about your bravery. It only matters if you are functioning. And if your body is screaming, it's better to listen while it still can speak. Rule 8. Sleep is not an option. You tell yourself, 1 more hour. I'll sleep when I secure the perimeter, when I boil more water, when I check the traps. But your brain is already shutting down. After 48 hours without real sleep, your neurons start to malfunction. You see hallucinations, misjudge threats, trust strangers, leave your backpack unattended. You don't feel drunk. you are truly drunk. A study by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration in 2025 confirmed that 72 hours of sleep deprivation reduces cognitive functions to a level comparable to a blood alcohol concentration of 0.15%. This is almost twice the permissible level for driving. In a collapse, this is not a fine for breaking traffic rules, but a death sentence. Sleep is not a luxury, but a necessity. Your brain expels toxins, consolidates memory, and recalibrates the perception of threats while you are unconscious. Skip this, and you will turn into a machine of mistakes, so you will sleep. But not like before. If you are alone, sleep hidden, underground, behind debris, one hand on your weapon, one ear listening to the wind. Use microsleeps, 20 minutes every 4 to 6 hours, to stay alert without a significant drop in activity. If you are with someone, sleep in turns. One watches while the other sleeps soundly. No half measures. I will keep one eye open. This is how ambushes happen, and never sleep in the same place 2 nights in a row. Predictability is a noose. Remember, after 48 hours of wakefulness, your brain begins to microsleep. 3 to 5 seconds of complete darkness while your eyes remain open. Your legs keep moving. Your grip stays strong. You won't notice it happening, but the one who cuts your throat while you are awake will thank you. Exhaustion kills slower than a bullet, but just as mercilessly. So guard your rest like the last bullet in the chamber, because in the silence between heartbeats, the most dangerous thing in the dark is a mind too wary to notice danger. Rule 9. Hope is a resource. Save it. You hear rumors. There is a federal emergency management camp 20 meters to the north. Clean water, medics, guards. Your chest tightens, your throat dries. For the first time in weeks, you feel something dangerous. I hope you burn half your food to get there. Take risks like you never promised. Cross open fields in daylight. Ignore your instincts. You arrive. Oh, the camp really exists, but it's a mass grave framed by barbed wire. Bodies are stacked like firewood. The medics are gone. The guards shot themselves last week. Hope did not save you. Hope exhausted you. In times of collapse, false hope is the deadliest toxin. It makes smart people foolish, cautious ones reckless survivors, and also corpses. That's why you must spend hope like insulin.
Используйте ее только тогда, когда это проверено. Инвестируйте в надежду только после подтверждения. Применяйте правило 3 источников. Никогда не действуйте по информации, если вы не слышали ее от 3 независимых людей, которые не знакомы друг с другом и не имеют ничего от лжи.
The radio broadcast is useless. The stranger's whisper is bait. A drone photo possibly taken by you. Because in chaos, rumors are weapons. Scavenger gangs spread lies about safe zones to drive survivors into kill zones. The raiders fake distress signals to lure good-hearted people. Even neighborly intentions echo nonsense heard from someone who knows someone. Survive today, plan for tomorrow, but never stake your life on a tale shrouded in despair. Hope is not a villain. It is fuel, but, like gasoline, it explodes if mishandled. So keep it, seal it, use it drop by drop, only when you have explored the path, tested the water, and confirmed the level of threat. The world is plunged into darkness, but your survival does not depend on seeking light. It depends on not getting burned while chasing a mirage. Stay grounded, be skeptical, and remember, the most dangerous lie in times of collapse is not, I will protect you, but everything will be fine. Rule 10. The worst enemy is yourself. You are starving, supplies are exhausted, your stomach gnaws at your spine. You notice a fat, familiar mushroom. You eat it. But it is not the right mushroom. 3 hours later, you are writhing in a ditch, foam at your mouth, wishing you had waited another day. You are a paranoid. You think your allies are hiding supplies? You threaten him with a knife. He wasn't hiding, but now he's hiding. And you just made your last friend an enemy. You are exhausted. You hear noise at night. Panic. You shoot into the darkness. Now every raider within a mile knows exactly where you sleep. The collapse does not kill you. You kill yourself. Your hunger, fear, impatience, your ego. These are not just emotions. They are executioners in disguise. In high-stress survival scenarios, human error accounts for 64% of fatal outcomes, according to a 2025 behavioral analysis from the Crisis Decision Science Center. Not violence, not diseases, but foolish decisions made by smart people under pressure. That's why you must master the only variable you can control, yourself, before every important decision. Make yourself stop. Keep a small decision journal.
Even just mental notes. If I do this, consequence 1, consequence 2, consequence 3 could lead me to death. Panic robs foresight, discipline restores it, and discipline is not an innate quality. Now, while the light still burns, prepare yourself.
Practice cold exposure. Sit in discomfort. Delay gratification. Train your brain to suppress instincts with logic. In collapse conditions, the difference between life and death lies not in equipment or place. It is important whether you can stop yourself from a foolish act that your primal instinct demands. To eat an unfamiliar berry. To attack first, ask later. To trust a crying child left alone on the road. Each of these actions is a trap disguised as despair. And you are a mouse. Maintain calm. Be attentive. Be ruthless when necessary and cautious when reason demands it. Your mind is your greatest asset, but if not guarded, it becomes your greatest threat. So protect it as if your life depends on it, for it truly does. Every second, every choice, every breath. Master your mind, or it will destroy you. Rule 11. Smell is a signature. Erase it. You haven't washed in 18 days. Your clothes are soaked with sweat, smoke, and the metallic taste of fear. You think you are hidden in this basement, curled up behind a collapsed shelf, silent as a stone. But you are not hidden. You are in plain sight. Because in the wind, 100 meters away, a scavenger has just caught your scent. Not with technology, not with dogs, but with its nose. Human olfactory sensitivity increases in a crisis situation. Hunger sharpens every sense. And your scent? It screams of warm flesh, of weak prey, of loneliness. And if they have dogs, you are already marked. Quadrupeds can smell human scent from a distance of up to 2 kilometers, according to studies on urban predators conducted by the U.S. Department of Agriculture in 2024. Yes, after the power outages in 2023 and 2024, packs of wild dogs in Cleveland, Atlanta, and Portland began to hunt actively, relying solely on their sense of smell. Therefore, you erase your scent whenever you can, but never with soap, shampoo, or anything artificial. These chemicals have no place in the wild and reveal civilization to anyone who seeks it. Use cold water and wood ash. Alkaline ash removes bacteria that cause odors and leaves no traces. Scrape the skin, hair, clothes, rinse quickly, dry in the shade, then disguise what remains. By rubbing dirt, pine needles, dried sage, or local leaves into your clothes and skin, you will smell like the earth you crawl on, rather than a walking source of protein wrapped in anxiety. Always approach from downwind. Never let your scent lead you to a camp, a water source, or a potential ambush zone. The nose knows much earlier than the eyes. In the Survival Field Guide of 2025, published by enviroliteracy.org, this is stated clearly. In conditions of collapse, sight is secondary. Sound is tertiary while smell is primary. Predators, whether humans or animals, do not seek you out. First, they sense your scent, so become neutral in smell, become part of the background. For the moment you stop smelling like prey, you begin to survive like a ghost. 15 rules, without unnecessary words, fantasies, or survival tales with good vibes. Only scientific facts and the harsh physics of human collapse in the year 2025, where the power grid remains dead, help does not come, and the main threat is not the end of the world. It is you who did not manage to adapt before it becomes too late. These rules are not guarantees. They are your only advantage. Use them, or risk becoming just a footnote in someone else's survival story. Now I need you to do 3 things. First of all, if any of these rules made you feel anxious or made your palms sweat, press the like button. Not for me, but for the algorithm. Let this truth reach everyone who still pretends to be ready for difficulties in their garage. Secondly, leave a comment below. Which rule affected you the most? Water, fire, or the realization that you are your own worst enemy? I read every comment, and your answer could save someone's life. Thirdly, subscribe and hit the bell, because next week we will reveal 7 unnoticed threats in your emergency backpack. The things that 92% of prepared people carry with them, thinking they are safe, are actually disguised time bombs. Spoiler number 3 is already in your medical kit. The world ceased to exist for millions in the year 2024. It will affect the rest of us in 2025. Not just prepare, adapt. Not just survive. Contemplate the situation. Be cautious. Stay in the shadows.